Hey guys, Troy, I'm connected. How are you? I hope you're having a killer week. I wanted to share with you something that I've been playing with hacking in my own life, and it's really freaking powerful. And it's called we're calling it nature's algorithm. So there's programs. There's fundamentally, maths is the fabric of life. Maths fundamentally can explain most things, and what we're looking at here is one of nature's algorithms. And this algorithm can hold us down and keep us stuck where we are, but we can also use this. Once you understand it, you can influence it. There's different points where you can actually change this algorithm or influence this algorithm to help you to spiral up, to help you to get what you want. And that's fundamentally, in terms of when we talk about being happy, having our well-being nourished, and essentially living a life that we want as opposed to being stuck in the shit that we're at, well, then understanding this is really, really powerful. So it's a bunch of different elements. There's our beliefs. Our beliefs filter our reality. And based on our beliefs, we have a cognitive bias to see things a certain way. So say, for example, two people have an accident. Both people think they're in the right. How they tell the story of that accident's going to be vastly different based on their beliefs, because their beliefs are filtering their story to suit their circumstance, essentially. So we have a cognitive bias based on our beliefs. And so our beliefs then also filter our thinking, like how we think or our thoughts. And to a large extent, once these, and I'll talk about this in a minute, but once these programs, this fundamentally calls a program, then these thoughts actually, it's not us doing the thinking, because the program becomes unconscious. We're being thunk by these programs to a large extent. I'm not even sure if thunk's a word, but let's invent it today. So thunk, and then from our thinking, we have these feelings, and these feelings arise, or emotions. And within these emotions essentially inspire us to take action, whether it's comfort or discomfort. They propel us forward. They inspire us to take action. And then that reinforces our beliefs about who we are. And this is fundamentally what we call a feedback loop. So looking at this within your own life, feedback loop / programs. So these are programs, and like programs that have been handed down to us since pre-birth and birth, things that may have happened that help to shape our beliefs or our view of the world. And then filtering our thinking, which causes these emotions to arise, both positive and negative, moving away from pain, moving towards pleasure, which inspire us to take action, which then reinforce our beliefs. So understanding this as a feedback loop, these things happen like in the background in a negative sense as well. If you've got a negative belief that, you're broke all the time, or you're unhealthy, or you're just have a poor or a lower sense of self-esteem, then that's going to filter our thinking. And I want to talk something else about here in terms of these beliefs. There's a thing that's this is really important. I want to talk about, it's something that sits on the base of the spine, the top of the spine, the base of the brain. Is called the reticular activating system. That's supposed to be a brain, or RAS, reticular activating system. And what this is the filter that sits at the top of the spine. It helps to filter the messages that get sent to the brain, because at the moment, through our prefrontal cortex, we're only aware of a certain number of amounts of the data that gets streamed through our senses, billions of bits of information through our senses. But for the most part, we're already overwhelmed. Like consciously, we're overwhelmed by the amount of things that we perceive throughout a normal day, and information is just at our ready. And fundamentally, if we don't take control of our attention, we find ourselves frazzled at the end of the day. So there's this filter here that helps us. The RAS basically only lets through things into our awareness that are life-threatening or important, things that we've made important. And this is to help conserve or preserve our cognition or enable us to be okay, whether it's in a life-threatening sense, but then also in a sense of things that we've deemed important, and this can be consciously or unconsciously. Let me just write that a bit clearer. So with the RAS, a great example of this and how it shows up is if you had ever gone to buy a car and maybe you hadn't seen that car anywhere before, but then this process of doing the research and buying the car, all of a sudden you start seeing these cars all over the place. It doesn't mean to say these cars weren't already there. They were there, but we were screening them out of our reality. They weren't important, they weren't life-threatening, so they were just screened out. It's only when we put our attention on it constantly that we then say, hey, this is important, allow this, more of this to show up. And this, as you can see, as it links to our beliefs, can help keep us, not help, but it can keep us stuck where we are, but it can also help us to spiral up. So when we look at this, like if your RAS, or if your belief is that, shit things keep happening to you and life's tough, what's going to get let through this RAS is what you reinforce. So what you reinforce is opportunities for shit things to happen to you and life being tough. The opportunity for good things to happen to you are already always there, but you're filtering them out through this belief, and then the belief that's triggering this thinking. So what we want to do is we want to influence this belief. We want to interject here. This is something that we can hack. So redefine what our beliefs are and really feel into this. Because then that's going to let through the RAS what are opportunities for you to have a different, to see opportunities for things to show up into your life that may not have been there. And then reinforcing that thinking through, one of the ways you can do that is through affirmations. So we can hack this as well. So beliefs is getting clear on, what is it that you really want to see? What is it that you really want in your life? And so we can do work around the beliefs. Then we can do work around your thinking. And then feelings and emotions, like cultivating those feelings and emotions that are going to propel you forward to take the right action that you need. And this is where like gratitude and a whole bunch of other positive emotions become really, really powerful. We've got some other really cools as part of transformative technologies that I'll share with you moving forward around this that can help us to hack. It can help us here. It can help us here, and it can help us here to inspire you to take action, and there's other tools that we can use here at this point, action point to help. And accountability can be one of them. So what we want to do is basically hack or hijack these feedback loops. In a negative sense, what we want to do is identify what programs we're running that are holding us down or keeping us stuck where we are, these feedback loops. And then what we want to do is redefine, what is it that we do want to see, and create our own programs that we can then instill into the mind. And through repetition and positive action and using a bunch of different technologies, we can do this. So as part of I Am Connected, this is what we're doing. I'll continue to share more about this, but I'd love for you to, at this point, consider what programs might you be running through your beliefs. Your beliefs triggering your thinking, your patterns of thinking, which is triggering this feeling of emotion, and then what actions that are you taking, whether it's consciously or unconsciously, to reinforce that belief and is keeping you where you are. Like there's things that we can do here to discharge this emotion, which is really, really powerful. There's things that we can do here to change your thinking, change your beliefs, and influence your actions. There's so many things that we can do. Like if you'd love to learn more about how we're doing this, reach out, let me know. I think I might do a web class on this and go into a little bit more detail, but this is just a high level sort of overview. I hope this has been of value. Again, what patterns of thinking, what feedback loops are you running, and how can we hijack nature's algorithm so that we can essentially reprogram our mind so that unconsciously on autopilot we're spiraling up. Big love.